I'm going to say start sharing. And now you can see that screen. And now if I open up another browser and say File, New Window, I should be able to drag that window over there. Oh, I figured it out. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, sorry again. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get out of my email. We're going to go to, the website was ipiccy.com. This is the first one I want to talk about today. Let's make that full screen so you can see it all. And then what iPic is a free online site. Now you don't have to sign in and register and create an account. If you do, it allows you to store and keep the work that you've done or created on their site by logging in and accessing it from the cloud. The site iPicky, which is ipiccy.com, you'll find that in the URL right up here, is designed for you to be able to upload images and pictures and graphics and whatnot and begin editing them immediately. So you would just click on the Start Editing button here, and from there you can upload any picture, image, graphic, I believe in multiple formats, whether it's a JPEG, TIFF, GIF, BMP, and you can start doing editing. So let's click on this photo upload, and I'll just go grab something. Let's go to pictures. Here's a group. Oh, here's a nice house. I like this house right here. This is kind of cute. And we'll just say open. And what this does is takes your photo from your computer, your desktop. You can even use an internet link to a URL which is hosting your image. And it puts the picture up in the cloud, where you can now do all kinds of things. You can click on this single button over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to enhance the size of this. See if I can't make it a little bigger. Nope, that's just making the picture bigger. But right over here it says Fix Image. So keep your eye closely on the image in front of you here on the large screen. When I click on the Fix Image, it says it's fixed the image. Now, I can't tell the before and after. It was a very subtle fix, but if I wanted to apply that, I would just click Apply. If I want to resize this image, I can keep the constraints, meaning you don't want it to look squished or fat when adjusting the size, but you can do it by percentage of width or height, or you can actually do it by pixels. So I might say I want this picture to be quite a bit smaller. I need it to be 800 wide by whatever height, so that it stays constraints, a proportion, evenly proportioned using the constraints. Now, if you take that off, you can go ahead and change a width and a height and the percentages to any numbers you want. I'm going to go ahead and say I need this rather large, so I'm just going to slide this little fader up to about 2400, and then I'm going to adjust the height because I want to make myself look really skinny. There, I actually look, well, there, that's even skinnier. But let's be realistic. Okay, so that looks good. Then you can apply that or cancel it. Now you can also crop, folks. Maybe you don't want people to see something in the outside or the bushes or maybe the ADT security sign. So you can go in and you can crop the photo. It'll give you a kind of a little layout. You can move the layout around to what you want. I like the archway. I don't want to show off the number of the house, so I might just do the archway here, and then pull this down, and that's it. And then just click on the Apply, and now you have a cropped image. This could be a profile picture, something you want on your sidebar, something to that. And then you've got exposure, which is just your shadows, your contrast, your bright and dark exposure. You also have the ability to go in and change colors. If you want a neutral picture, if you want to just saturation, temperature. Don't know that I would, you don't want to get too extreme on any of these things, but depending on your original image, your original graphic or picture, it might need some color adjustment. Maybe it's too bright. Maybe you want to make it a little bit more faded out. It all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But the point is you're utilizing all of these free tools right online. Now, there's a lot more here. I'm not going to go through each and everything. I just want to show you that you can actually emboss things. So when I say emboss, what does that mean? It means I can make this picture look pretty, like almost like a pencil drawing. Look at that. How is that showing on your screen? It looks like it's going pretty good. So whether you fade, emboss, add noise, maybe it's too sharp, you want it to be a little blurry, maybe you want to go sepia. I'm going to discard the changes from the emboss. Sepia, black and white, light contrast, equalized image, liquify. Look at this. This is kind of weird. You can drag your mouse around and liquify this image by just grabbing parts of the picture. And look at that. I gave myself a big shoulder. Just keep stretching it out. I look like I'm a football player. See there? Let me give myself a Popeye arm. We'll do that by just going like this, right? There's a Popeye arm. When you would use this, that's a good question. I don't know if you'd ever use this. I'm just showing you it's here. Okay, so now up here, folks, there's some other things I just want to point out real quickly. You've got photo effects. I'm going to discard all of that mess I just made. Some of the different photo effects, look at this. Softening the image. You can go in and do vignette. Different vignette styles, they've done them by name, but as you click on them, you see what it does to the photo. Different fade adjustments. Folks, there's nothing you can break here. Your original picture you upload, you will always have that original picture or that image or that graphic. So it's okay to come in here and try some different things to see how they look and what they do to the photo. You can save it as a different file name and you'll never hurt anything. Along with some of these other tools that are under this tab up here at the across the top of the page are a lot of these different features. You just got to go in and look at them. I don't know what the gritty does, but if we click on it, let's try it. Yeah, so it makes it really gritty and grainy. Might look good in an ad. I don't know. Infrared, bloom, lots of great stuff. Here's another one. This is for individuals. So as you move up and closer on an image or a photo, so now we're at 33%, but look what I can do. I can move in really close. And then over here on the far right where I'm wiggling my mouse over here, you can move this little adjuster so you can get in really close on people's faces and skin tones, teeth. And literally, I'm not kidding, this is so cool, you can go in and fix red eye. We have our sunglasses on, so you wouldn't be changing that. But what about a blemish fixer? What does a blemish fixer do? Well, I got this crack right here on my forehead. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just kind of going over it and softening it up. Over here I got maybe a little red rosacea on the cheek a little. The other thing is I think it's even got a wrinkle remover. Watch this. If I take this wrinkle remover and I adjust the size of the brush, well, that's pretty big. I don't want to unwrinkle my whole head. But just this little wrinkle right here between my eyes. I think lots of us guys have this. Now, that's not necessarily the tone I would use. It's a little dark. But see what happens, folks, when I pull out? Look at that. You can't even tell I got that wrinkle. Well, you couldn't tell if you're this far out anyway. But if you're moving in on an image, you could go in and remove wrinkles, fix blemishes, give yourself a nicer tan. Just a lot of great stuff. Now, if you wanted to overlay one picture on top of another, you'll see this little bucket. It's called a blender. And this allows you to take images from somewhere else and lay them on top of this image. So you might want to add another sign here that says sold by and then your name as an agent, or photo by. If you wanted to do text, you could just say photo by Brad Anderson. And then that's a little big, so obviously you're going to take this little size tool and you're just going to lower it down a little bit lower, maybe make it italic or pick a different font. I'm going to actually make that I made it go away, my bad. I'm going to drag that down here, down to the lower portion of the screen, and I'm going to make it normal, and I'm going to make it a times, or let's do this essence sans. There. So now I'm going to make it white. I'm going to click on the color scheme here and just make that white so it's a little bit easier to see. And I'm going to put this one actually down here in this corner. Now this photo isn't really by me, so technically I wouldn't do that. But you could use the tool to change it sideways. If you wanted to move this somewhere else on the image, you could use the rotation tool. So as you can see, folks, you can get pretty in-depth with some of the different things, tools available here. And again, all of this is free. It doesn't cost you anything to use this stuff. You can add stickers. You can do different font overlays. You can even take another picture and allow to have other photos layered on top of photos, but they're going to be stored on your system, so you have to agree to this enabling local storage, and then you have to allow it when it pops up on your window, which it's done on mine, so I'm going to go ahead and allow that. And now I can upload another image from somewhere else. See, I can go upload photo. I can come over here, and I can grab let me find a picture. I should have been a little bit more prepared for photos this morning, but I wasn't. So I'll just go in here and say my pictures, and you want to grab a floor plan of the house. We just grab that, and you take your floor plan and you just drag it over and drop it on your picture, resize it to whatever size you want, and now people are going to see that this is not a house, it's a tent trailer, which is not a good example. But you get what I'm talking about. You can now do overlays. And here's the best part. If you're watching this right now or you're listening to this recording, folks, you don't have to go take a night class or night school to learn how to use a program like Adobe Photoshop or Elements or one of these programs that just requires you to understand a bunch of different technobabble terminology and how to do. This is just simple drag and drop. Best part is after you go through and save all this information, you come right up here. Well, first you combine those two layers, so now it's one picture, okay, and it'll load it. Now you have this one image. Then you have all these other tools. See the toolbox over here on the left-hand side? Unlimited capability. Here's another feature up here. Again, adding a border. I like this, but I still would like it to have a nice drop shadow. So I'm going to give it a nice big drop shadow. I want that to be about 20, and I want it to be at a 60-degree angle, so it's off to the lower right corner. You can always come up here and just type the number as well. Click on the number you want, type the number in, hit enter. See how it puts this little edge around the bottom here? How much fade do you want? I like it to fade out. I don't like it too strong, but I want to be able to see a little bit. And then you apply that. Then you can also come up here and add frames. What kind of a frame do you want? Some people like to use that mirrored frame type of a deal. I personally like just a matte basic border. There's your border. You can adjust the thickness of the internal border, the external border. You might want the internal border to be kind of a gold color maybe. And then the external color to be maybe a brighter, let's just pick a different spectrum here. Okay, so now we're actually saving the photo. I kept the border black just for the sake of time. Naming the photo. What do you want to call this photo? I'm going to call it Brad Buys. Let me change this. Brad Buys home on his company's website, which he did. Now I want this to be in the highest of quality, but look at this, folks. You can change this to a PNG, which makes the background transparent, doesn't have any kind of a weird side or ceiling on it. Or you can just do JPEG, which is best for most photos, and then change it to the highest quality possible, which took it from being at 85% quality, which was only 395 kilobytes in size. But once I make that 100%, now it's 1.1 megabyte. I can also save this to either my computer's desktop, where we originally started with the original photo, or I can put this right on Facebook or right up to Flickr if I have a Flickr account. So if I save this onto my desktop, I just say Save to Computer. It asks me to come up with a file name, where I want to save it, where I want to store it. I'm just going to save it on the desktop. And that's it. Now I can either go back and continue editing that photo, or I can close that photo and upload a new one, create a collage, even more. But let's talk about yet another site. So this one is called iPicky.com. The next one I want to share with you is called Pick, P-I-C, Monkey, M-O-N-K-E-Y. This is my second other choice for free photo editing and enhancement. And you're going to see that they both have the feature. iPicky has the feature of signing in and creating an account. It doesn't cost anything. Picmonkey has the same feature. You can sign in, edit, touch up, design, collage. What do you want to do? You hover your mouse over which one. If you say edit, it says you can choose your photo from either computer, you can grab it from your Dropbox, from Flickr, from Facebook. Love that feature. So you're going to see each one has a little bit different features available. Just depends on what you're looking for. So I recommend taking a look at all three. Another nice feature, and Alice is asking a question here in the chat box, is how do I access this when I'm out on the road or with a client? The best part about this is if you're on the road, you can access any of this stuff with an internet connection. You would need to have an original photo to upload, whether that be your tablet or your computer, laptop, or desktop. But if you have an account on these sites, Alice, you could actually start from the site. You could upload the 3 or 4 pictures you're going to be working on while traveling and just have them already available in your account, sitting up in the cloud just waiting for you. So that's a good question. But you can access them from anywhere, from any device, as long as it has a web-enabled browser. So here you can go in and do edits, touch up. You can design, choose a canvas, and create your own art. And of course, all of these sites have the ability to create a collage. What I like about Picmonkey is a couple things. Again, you can pull from different sites. But let's say I pull that picture from the computer and I just open it up in Picmonkey. You're going to see, again, some of the same features. It just looks a little bit different. So you have your cropping. You have canvas exposure, rotation. Sometimes you take a picture and it's elongated. It's supposed to be vertical, but it's horizontal. You can just simply rotate your pictures here. Exposure, colors, sharpen, resize. But then there's all these other little features like effects, drawing, eyes, mouth, blemishes, shine reduction. Sometimes you get that glare off your forehead. It just the possibilities are limitless. For the ladies, you can even get into the eyebrow pencil and eyeshadow and red eye remover and nip tuck. Okay, TMI, too much information. But folks, if people didn't use this stuff, they certainly wouldn't put it here. Same thing with cloning. Cloning is a very popular feature within photo editing and picture editing, image editing, because sometimes you want colors to match and blend. Sometimes you'll see a big mud clod or a beehive up here in the corner. I just want to clone it and wipe it out. If I click on clone, I can pick the source that I want to use. I'm just going to choose this source, and then I can wipe out different stuff that I don't want. Oops. Usually an undo feature. There it is. Excuse me. Choking on a frog here. You can select the area you'd like to clone, and then you can see that little circle. See how it's cloning out the line? Maybe you want to soften the edge a little bit. So cloning is a neat feature when you're trying to clean stuff up, when you're trying to match different background colors. It's a fantastic feature, and the nice thing is no matter what you do, you'll always have your original image, so you could actually come in and just click on this undo button and everything goes back to right where you started. Lots of features in Picmonkey. You have lots of really nice frames available. You've got rounded corners. You've got edges, drop shadows, scissors. You can even go in and do this scissor crafting. But I have to upgrade. Now, that's the thing I want to point out to everybody. Depending on which site and how many features they allow will depend on whether you'll need to upgrade. So if you really needed scissor photography, you might want to consider upgrading the account. How much is the upgrade? Let's take a look. Okay, so it's not going to break the bank. If you go have a cup of coffee once a week, you could skip 1 cup of coffee for a week, and for $2.75 a month, you could have access to a full-blown editing site like this. Just give them your email address, agree, and pay them 2.25 or 2 3 bits or whatever it is, and you're good to go. So that's Picmonkey. Great site, great online photo editing. The last one, and this is one of my favorites, and I use this daily, folks, is called Ribbit.com. For those of you that remember Picnic, Picnic was acquired by Google and is now a featured product, tool, and service that's available through Picasa, which is Google's housing for hosting photos and images, kind of like Yahoo has Flickr for hosting images and photos. Well, Google owns Picasa, and Picasa now has what's called, it used to be called Picnic.com. Now they just took the features over and applied it to Picasa. But if you go to Ribbit.com, they came out about a week later after Google announced the purchase of Picnic and came up with pretty much the same exact program. I don't know how they got away with it. But here it is, and this is where I actually have an account. So you can go into Ribbit.com, Ribbet.com. You can download a desktop version, or you can just edit your photo. And I did. I just threw a bunch of photos up on here. I've created an account. And so I can go back in and access some of the numerous, like I was doing over the weekend, working on a band photo. Some of you have seen some of the images I've used on some of the webinars we do. Here's the Zillow mobile when I was showing people how to create a contacts CRM mobile app right on your mobile device. I used this to create and maximize my graphics and images. So what's nice is I started off with just a plain old picture, and then I was able to bring that photo on here, go black and white. I was able to add text over the top of it. I was able to put a frame around it. I was able to do some adjustments with the color and the contrast. You'll see there's a lot of, again, the same types of features: cropping, rotating, exposure, color, sharpening, resizing, getting pictures from your computer or pulling them from here. You can literally take pictures and just drag them and drop them and make them bigger or smaller and have them, appear in different places. Here, let's just cover this guy up. Lot of easy to use tools. I'm just more comfortable and familiar with the Ribbit site because I was so used to Picnic. You've got a lot of information up here, and a lot of this is free that doesn't require you to upgrade or have some premium account. You can, and you will find those features when it says upgrade pro. It'll say premium. So like right now I can do a before and after with this picture, but if I try to use the reflection, it should tell me I need to have a premier or a premium account. When I try to apply that, oh, it actually did. So maybe I have a premium account and don't even know it. My understanding was, I might not be able to save this though. No, it's going to let me save it. Same thing, JPEG. This lets you save in JPEG or PNG. If I say JPEG, it'll allow me to make this a maximum compression, best quality. And again, you can save this directly to your Picasa or Google. You can save it to Flickr, which is Yahoo's hosting site, image or photo hosting. You can put this directly up on Facebook. You can actually print your photos from here on their service. But lots of really cool features. I'm going to run back to the home page I should have said continue editing right here. Some of these other features, these effects, amazing. Again, for the sake of time, I've only got a couple more minutes here. You could go in and do all kinds of stuff, everything from like a pencil sketch, if you want to say, like a drawing type. Brush size, smaller, brush strength. You should see hardness. You should see the picture start adjusting a little bit. Or maybe do a reverse effect. Go back to original. Here we go. Pencil. Now watch this. Strength. See, I'm giving it, I can make these adjustments here. Radius, fade, that's a little too much. I bring the fade back to about here. Now it really starts looking like somebody drew this. Love this. I love this, the pencil sketch. You've also got a lot of other features. So again, I could go through each of them and try to amaze you, but what I think you should do at this point is you should log into either iPicky, which is the first site we talked about. I would also check out Picmonkey. That's picmonkey.com. I would upload the same picture there, see what you can do. And then the last one, of course, is ribbet.com, ribbet.com. And just go in there and see how easy this stuff is to do using your own photos and your own graphics and images. Whether you're doing text overlays, whether you're trying to enhance and increase the quality of your seller's properties and homes. Maybe you're doing an open house and you want to show multiple pictures. Maybe you've got one of those photos, you're taking a photo of the living room, but the outside window is blowing out the photo because the sun's coming through, and you just want to overlay a nice picture of the view out that window on top of it. There are so many ways you can use this without having to take a course, without having to become a technical programmer, developer, designer, photographer. Most of you got into real estate to sell real estate, and you got a license to sell homes, not to become an image editor or a photographer by profession. So these sites are free. I hope this has been a useful class for you. I want to tell you thank you for taking time to join me. Again, I apologize for this being my first time on this platform and having to kind of navigate around to see what works and what doesn't work and where things are. And lastly, I will give one last final plug for Zillow, who is my company and, of course, my sponsor for today's session, but also Zillow Academy, where you can find all the upcoming classes right over here under your Agent Hub. You just click on the Training tab, or you can just as easily go to ZillowAcademy.com. If you're on Zillow, just go to Zillow.com/academy, and you'll find all of our upcoming webinars here. You'll find our recorded sessions available right here. You'll find our video tutorials. These are all 3 minutes or less. One or two may have squeaked by that are a little longer, but these are all how-to and tutorial videos. And then if you're on the go a lot like we are, you can also take the podcasts with you and listen to some of the interviews with top agents at your convenience. Thanks so much for joining me. I do hope to have you back here again next time for one of these, what we call webinar jam, where we can hang out together. I can bring you on live. I hope to do a panel in my upcoming series with some of the top agents across the country, where you get to see them live here. You're going to get to talk to them, engage with them, and find out what's working for them in their parts of the country, as well as what's not working, what they recommend for online tools, what they're using for their mobile apps, and how is it they're able to at least close $20 million a year in real estate every single year, regardless. So thanks again so much. I look forward to having you back here again soon. And until the next time, have a great rest of the day, a great rest of the week, and get out there and help people buy and sell that American dream. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.